Okay, so welcome to this chaos. Um, yeah, yeah, we broke this game. This game is so busted. Oh my god. So what happens last night? We found out that there's a problem, an unknown feature, if you will, of this game. Um, so what's happening here is we got 100,000 rounds. The way we got 100,000 rounds is this game is broken. Um, I do not see the clock on the board here, which is no problematic, I guess. So anyway, looks like what's happening here. Um, when I went to bed last night, I left this running, so it's been running about 10 hours. When I went to sleep, um, the horn was going crazy. The horn was going insane. Um, there's a problem with this game when you have the horseshoe, the horn, and the heart. And I'm guessing probably anything with the charge past that. Maybe not even past it. I mean, I guess the charges you have the horseshoe with the charges, and that's what's causing the problem. We did a lot of experimenting last night with various things, taking the heart away, taking the horn away, so forth, so on. It seems that this horseshoe with the horn and the heart is problematic, to say the least. And it could be because maybe the developers didn't realize that you're gonna have this combo, because this combo theoretically wasn't, well, it technically wasn't possible until they came up with the surgery mechanic. And um and the only reason it's possible with that, because the horn, you have to put the heart in, and then the heart, I think, becomes banned, I'm guessing, along with the regular horseshoe, which this is the golden horseshoe, the regular horseshoe, and the nuclear button. Well, I have the nuclear button sitting in a drawer. I haven't gotten rid of it yet. But and then once you combine those to make the horn, it yeah, it bans them, so you can't have them again, and it gets rid of them, obviously, because that's how surgery mechanic works. But because of the trading card, I believe it's called trading card. I don't know, and I can't check because we got this crazy background gothic sounding chant going on here with this cross happening over and over and over again. Um, and it's pretty much has the game locked up until it finishes its thing. So, and I'm guessing next is going to be the picture frame, and then I think that's all I got up here as far as those go. So, oh, this shit's bananas. All right, so that's what's happening here. Is those are causing something to happen where it it causes 100,000 activations of whatever it is. The reason I know it's 100,000 activations is because it started this, I believe, with 344 rounds left, uh, due to the pattern I've been using to get rounds. So I started this with 344. It activated 100,000 times. Um, and I believe we're already done with the clock because the clock is no longer on the board. So I believe the clock is finished and is broken somewhere in that 10 hours that I've been not paying attention to this and not been streaming it, or just not just leaving it running. Um, so within those 10 hours, I'm guessing that clock finally broke. I did a stupid simple calculation of this. Um, I believe these are hitting every about 3 per second. I could be wrong as far as that goes because I really don't want to try and do the math on this any better than that. Just guessing, but it looks like about 3 per second to me. Which means after about, I think it's 9.5 hours, it finishes. It's about what, almost 11 hours, I think, that this has been going. So somehow, maybe a couple hours ago, uh, the first round of this finished, which was the horn clicking off, at least graphically. And I think what it is it gives it to you. So I don't think that pattern multiplier is going to go up because this cross is not really up it by enough to where I'm going to see much of a difference in the pattern multiplier, because that's about where it was. It was E232 before I started this madness. Um, you know, those have been up. I got those up in by using the bullet train. So those I already got up to that point. So 100,000 rounds of this is not going to be anything major, right? It goes up once every, what, 50,000 then, because it's got to flip up and flip down. I probably could have used. I think there's something I could have used to where it would double it, but um, anyways, it's about 50,000. So you get 50,000 hits on that. That's not even on the E levels. That's 50,000. That's all it is. I don't even think it's going to show up on the board. But the person that kind of was talking to me last night when we were doing this wanted to see what the cross did. And this is what the cross is doing. So I guess I have another 9.5 hours of this cross doing this. And then after that happens, I'm guessing we'll move on to the picture frame of the 7, or maybe even the horseshoe, uh, which is going to suck because that's going to get rid of my what you call it, my weird clock, right? Because the weird clock should be right now, and I can't check to make sure, but it should be right now sitting inside of this Virago right now. So I can get the weird clock back. The problem is if I do 100,000 hits on this horseshoe, I may be okay because I don't think, I don't know if I rolled around or, oh, I have 3 spins left. Okay, so I had 3 spins left. So it shouldn't break it. So I should be all right, but we'll see. Because there's an issue with a couple things. There's an issue with the ancient coin, and there's an issue with the same issue applies to this golden horseshoe, where even though it breaks, it saves the number of activations that it had before it broke. So, for instance, if the ancient coin is supposed to break, I believe, or it's supposed to have a chance of breaking after 5 um, activation, or five uses, right? So if you hit the button a bunch of times and you get up to 10 activations of it saved up, kind of like here you see the horseshoe has 2 saved up, and that's probably going to go up to 10 or 100,000 and 2 before this is said and done. What happens at that point with the ancient coin and the horseshoe? I'm pretty sure, um, because I've noticed this with the horseshoe as well. Is the ancient coin, and then there's another mechanic that is actually broken with the ancient coin, and I'm sure well, I don't know about the ancient coin. It's broken with the horseshoe because I had this with the horseshoe. Um, the horseshoe is supposed to break after like 3 or more activations, I believe. Um, So what I had was I had nine, I believe 9 charges saved up on the horseshoe, right? I hit the horseshoe, I don't know, let's say 12 times, just to say it. I don't know the exact number anymore. And the horseshoe broke after the third time, right? So I had 9 instances of the horseshoe that never got activated because it got destroyed. Got thrown in the Virago. I picked it back up. Once I picked it back up, um, I didn't even have to activate it again. It already had another 9 activations set to it. I think. I don't think I had to act. Maybe I did have to activate it to get that to happen. But what ended up happening is the horseshoe broke on the first damn turn, and the first time it activated. So, um, yeah, I think there's an issue there where you had 12 turns, it broke on the third, but it still considers the rest of those 9 turns that you're activating it as part of that scheme. So when you bring it back up, well, it's not saying that you're starting a new horseshoe. You're continuing off the old one that broke. So now it's the fourth turn. Now it has another chance to break. Excuse me, God, I just woke up. So there's a couple of glitches that are happening here that are problematic. Um, I'll probably talk to the developers if I can find an email address for them and all that sort of stuff for this game, and let them know what's happening um, with this because this is game breaking, man. I mean, they got a leaderboard for this, for Christ's sake, and I mean, I don't know if there's limits to your the amount of money you can collect in this game to where it'll max out the leaderboard for you, so you can't get past a certain level or whatever. But if there's not, then yeah, you can use this this thing here to basically just wipe that leaderboard out. It's not fair. Um, it's a glitch. It's gimmick. It's yeah, it shouldn't count. And it shouldn't even happen, honestly. Honestly, but I understand. They can't account for everything, and they definitely can't account for someone like me coming in trying to break their game, which is not normally what I do. But with this game here, I love playing this game, and I got to the point where I'm kind of don't really have anywhere to go with it. So I just it's like, yeah, well, let's see if we can break this thing and how we can break it. This thing here was totally unintentional, like completely unintentional. Um, I had a person come into the chat here and basically say, "Hey, man, uh, you can have the heart and the horn up at the same time." And he didn't tell me how, but I figured it out because I mean, there's only one way. There's only two ways to get the horn. One is combining the heart, and one is not combining the heart. So it was it's kind of apparent. And and I re-rolled the hell out of that little booster pack thing until I got the horn. So that's basically how that works. And then I was afraid. What I am afraid of is what they need to. What they really need to do with this game, and it's probably going to piss a lot of people off. So I don't even know if there's really a fix to this without just upsetting everybody. But the best thing they could do is probably get rid of that card back completely. Just take it out of the shop. Just take it out of the surgery. Just don't have it anymore. Because that's what's breaking this. Um, yeah, it's just not good. Because if they take the horn out of the game, then that just like totally screws up a lot of patterns um, that you can do, and that's problematic. I don't think the horn is that great because it does the same thing that the button does, and it doesn't stack. It seems with the button because I've been trying. It's got some weird mechanics to it. It does the horn does some really wacky shit. Sometimes, I've had it where it's activated an extra time, and you get three shots off of your charged items when you're doing them. So it automatically hits twice with the horn. You end up with a third charge. Okay, that's the way it's supposed to work. That's mechanically how it's supposed to work. But I've had it where you hit the button once and it gives you 5 charges, and maybe that's part of this glitchy thing going on here. I don't know, but somehow that does happen from time to time, and it's rare, but it does happen. It has happened. So I don't know. Excuse me. Ooh, gotta not vape when I'm trying to talk. So I don't know what the solution would be. I think the easiest solution would be just take the card pack out. But you know, I know a lot of times what they'll do with these types of games when they find stuff like this, because this isn't my first rodeo here, but I know a lot of times what they'll do is they'll just take out the item itself. Um, they'll take out the horn, or they'll figure out a way to make it so the horn, um, cannot stack with the heart or the. It already doesn't stack with the button, so that's a good thing. They could do that, but then I don't know what other kind of glitches or gimmicks we're going to be able to find within this. The one thing I'd like to see fix is the problem with the button, and the problem with the Virago and the button, or I'm sorry, the Virago and the ancient coin, and even the Virago and this horseshoe, and I don't know what else would have a similar problem, because I think it's got to be something that gets destroyed automatically, because oh, and it's not just the Virago and the coin, and I don't think what it is. It's resurrection. The resurrection thing here. What ends up happening? There's an issue where um, you hit the button, you get yourself a bunch of charges of, let's say, the coin, or the horseshoe, or whatever it happens to be, and they break. They break automatically. Well, when they break, they go into the Virago. When you destroy the Virago to get them back, they show up back on as intended. They show back up here on your counter. When you then go to the shop, due to resurrection, theoretically, what should happen is the Virago should show up in your shop on the next reroll. That's not what actually happens. What actually happens is either let's say we're talking about this horseshoe here. The horseshoe will show up in the shop. It'll show up in the shop, and it'll have charges above it, so it's glitched. It's broken. It'll still show on the counter that you have the same spaces taken up as if it was still on the counter, and it is still on the counter technically. Um, and it is working as if it was on the counter. The Virago, though, does not show back up in the shop due to the resurrection. The resurrection actually would resurrect this piece here, even though this piece here is on the table. Then it will disappear from the table, even though it's still technically there, and it'll show up in the shop. And it'll look like you can buy this horseshoe back in the shop again. And you actually can't. It won't let you buy it. I guess you can't have two things in the same place at the same time. Um, it does that with the ancient coin. It does that with this horseshoe, and I think it's got to do with the mechanic that they break themselves. I don't know if it does it with. I don't think. I don't think it. I've had a problem with. In fact, I know I haven't. I haven't had a problem with the weird clock, because that's kind of the pattern I've been using to get my rounds up, is breaking the weird clock every time, and then breaking the Virago, bringing the weird clock back up, and the Virago shows back up the shop. It only seems to work so far that I've noticed. I believe it's a horseshoe, and I know it's a horseshoe and the ancient coin, and I don't know what else it's broken with. to be completely honest. I just don't know. Um, but that's where we're at with this. The game's completely locked up until the graphic completes. But again, this has already given me my bonus for this cross hitting 100,000 times. It's already done, you know. Um, what is going to be interesting, and the reason we did this, um, at least I believe the reason the person who was talking to me in the chat uh, told me to try this out was because we're kind of curious to see if it glitches out the 666s. And if this glitches out the 666s, that means you know, I'm gonna have stored up 1,666s. Now, technically, when this thing turns upside down, it gives you, I believe it's +3. I don't know. I can't check anything right now because I'm locked up, but I believe it gives you +3 to your 666 score. And I believe the reason um, the person in chat wanted to see what would happen here is to see if this would glitch that out to the point where we'd have a 3,000% or, you know, whatever, 150,000. I think it'd be 150,000 percent. Um, 666, chance. I got a phone call.